Hello, Internetians. My name is Josh, aka Ultra Player, your coach of the New York Metagross. And here we are, about time, ready for our Season 2 draft recap of the United Association of Pokemon Battlers, UAPB, the league that we won just a couple months ago, and are now here as defending champion, ready to take on our fellow friends once again. So, let's talk about the UAPB for a second. Like I said, we are defending champions. New York Metagross did win Season 1 with an 11-1 record, which was absolutely insane. But now, we're here again, and new players have arrived. We have returning coaches such as Tup and Crimson and Casper, of course. Magearna has been banned. I don't know why, because I used it horribly last season because of the team. And it ended up being defensive all the time. But hey, Magearna's banned. So hopefully we can win the season again. This time without Magearna, and just show that we are not weebs. So anyway, let's talk about... Okay, so franchising was allowed. However, I didn't want to franchise. I didn't want to use Hydreigon again. Hydreigon was basically the only Mon that I could think of that I would want to franchise. That, or potentially Chestnut, because it put in so much work for me. But those are the only real two I could think of to franchise, and I didn't really want to. I didn't want to spend the extra points. So tier list comes out, and me and the front office takes a look at it, and there's a lot of Mons that we found really interesting that were lower than what we thought they should have been. So that's kind of where the draft went for us. We were really focusing on two specific Mons that we thought were very, very under tiered, and wanted to take those and use those two Mons, which I've been wanting to use both of these Mons, so we used those two Mons, or tried to make sure we could use those two Mons, and just build a good solid team with it. Nothing too crazy or outlandish, just build a really solid team. So we were number 16 in draft order. Very last, we had the wheel pick, which isn't bad. I like having the wheel pick, especially in such a shorter draft. In a 24-man draft, like the NPA, it's kind of scary because everything you want could just disappear in an instant. But with 16 less picks, that's kind of different. So, we had the wheel pick, which is really nice. I really like having the wheel pick, getting 2 picks off at once. So, a lot of Mons that I was considering were... What was I thinking of? I can't remember all the Mons that we were discussing, but we were discussing a lot of OU Mons, or Tier 1 Mons. We were discussing stuff like Salamence and Lando, which was actually already gone. I looked at Lando Eye, and I looked at a lot of Mons. A lot. I thought about Sand again, trying to make Sand work. But ultimately, we decided that we would want some bulk. We want some early bulk before we turned this into a Josh draft and not have any really good really good bulk that synergizes well. So we wanted a Mon that was really, really good. Really, really bulky, something that I would use well. Let's go ahead and switch over to the team builder. I have not imported any of the Mons. So we wanted a Mon that was really, really good. We wanted a Mon that was really, really bulky. Something that could give us a lot of utility immediately. So after discussing for God knows how long, there was one Mon that I really, really was pushing for, that I really, really wanted to use. And Jake said, "Nah, fam, I do not like this Mon as a first round pick. Save it for next round. It'll probably fall to you." And that Mon did not fall to me. It went 1 pick before me on round 3, which was Heatran. So anyway, that Mon went. But the Mon we ended up deciding on using was Zapdos. So Bolt, back from the USL, is here. And I really want to use this Mon. I liked it in the USL. I think it's a really, really good Mon. It's not the super crazy, outrageous wall that a lot of people feel like it is. But it's still really good. It's really, really bulky and stops a lot of Mons. What's really nice about this as a wall is the fact that it's fast. 100 base speed, something as bulky as Zapdos, which is going to just take all the hits and really stop the damage, is that it can outspeed a lot of threats. It's crazy how much, it's crazy having a mon this fast. This is why I like Mega Latias so much. To those who don't know, my favorite mon in League format, or what I believe to be the best mon, is Mega Latias. Just because it's so fast and so bulky. But anyway, we're talking about Zapdos. Zapdos has pressure, Zapdos has static, very good abilities. Pressure stall is always a mean thing to do. Static is always good for getting the pairs and having speed control. This thing gets defog. It gets Volt Switch, which is always nice. I love initiative. And it gets U-turn, so you don't have to worry about bulky grounds just hard stopping you. So that's always lovely. And it gets decent coverage. I mean, of course, it has electric type moves. It does get Heat Wave. It has stuff like Extra Sentry. It has Discharge for Paras, and then it has like the hidden powers, which can be used for ground types. So that's good. And it's just so good. It has very limited move pool. Like, there's like 10 moves you might ever see. And that's an Electric Stab, a Volt Switch, or a U-turn. Heat Wave, Extra Sentry, Agility, Roost, Defog. That's it? Really? I can't think of any other mon. I mean, yeah, Baton Pass maybe? Who knows? Double Edge, of course. Get that out of here. I'm not writing Double Edge Zapdos. I mean, it gets screened, which is always cool. Thunder Wave is always good. Whirlwind, etc. Air Cutter. New meta. So anyway, Zapdos, very good mon. Just such a good, versatile mon to start off with. This could also be a Choice Specs user, a Choice Scarf, Agility, or Life Orb. It's a really good mon. Considering last time we won with Moltres, I guess it's time to work on another bird, getting it to championship status. So, now then, these two mons that I talked about that I really wanted to pick up, that I felt were really under tiered, we decided one of them just to make sure we got it, because I did not want to risk losing this mon, because this mon is something I've been wanting to use really bad, and the fact that it was tiered in tier 3, which in my opinion, it's really, this mon should be tier 2. Guaranteed, 100%, all the time. It's way too good to not be tier 2. So when I saw tier 3, I knew I wanted to pick it up on my first wheel. So, that mon is Mimikyu. Mimikyu. Peekaboo. Mimikyu. It's a really good mon. It's really good. And the reason why I think I'm gonna like it so much is because I always struggle when I do setup mons. Is when am I gonna get that setup? When am I gonna get the setup opportunity? The only time you don't get a setup opportunity with Mimikyu is Mold Breaker, like a Ghost or a Steel type move, like Mold Breaker, Extra Drill, Quick and Iron Head, or Will-O-Wisp. Other than that, your setup is basically free. And while Mimikyu doesn't have the best attack, when it's a basic free SD, that becomes scary. That becomes really scary, especially when boosted by a Life Orb, or a Spooky Plate, or a Pixie Plate, or even a Z move, because this is my Z Captain. So it just becomes really strong, and it has kinda okay bulk, not really. It has really low HP. Its defense is average, but its def is pretty good, so it allows it to take maybe one more hit. So you can basically just like start tearing through teams. This is a really good late game cleaner. A really late game game cleaner, especially since it has priority instead of Shadow Snake. Especially since it's really fast. Well, not really fast, but it's fast in the aspects that it's faster than anything that could take a Shadow Sneak, and it's strong enough that it'll pick off fast offensive mons that are frail. So yeah, Mimikyu, really good. Disguise is just so good. Ghost Fairy is an amazing typing. And this may not be the typical versatile mon that I like to run. I really like versatility. There's one thing I always think, and that is if a mon can do one thing extraordinarily well, it doesn't need to be versatile. And Mimikyu is a setup sweeper that does it extraordinarily well. Like, it runs Shadow Sneak, Shadow Claw, Play Rough, and SD. And will probably only ever run Play Rough, Shadow Sneak, Shadow Claw, and SD. Sometimes I might run Destiny Bond, sometimes I might run Woodhammer, but it's basically going to be those 4 moves, because what else do you really need? So yeah, so round 3 comes. Down for our second wheel. We're going to grab that other Mon that I talked about that I thought was really tiered low. That would really, really help us out. But not first. Like I said, I wanted Heatran, and Heatran just went out the window. And we discussed this pick for a little while, even though it shouldn't have taken that long to discuss. Like, the second I saw this one Mon still there, and knowing that I could afford to pick it up, I should have just immediately just said, I'm getting it. But I didn't really know if I wanted to use it again. After so long, we eventually was like, just get it. Just damn get it. Just get this Mon. Put them in Infernape. I don't know what I'm calling you yet. I don't want to call you Weave. Am I going to call you Weave? We're going to call you Weave again. I don't care. If I have another name, I'll change your name, but Infernape. Oh, Infernape, my friend from the Brawl for All. I love this Mon to death. It's a good U-turner. It's a great stealth rocker if you really need it. It's really just amazing. It's a good setup sweeper with like SD, which helps break stuff. I'm sorry, I'm playing with my cat. I don't get to see this cat much because this cat doesn't like coming inside, so I'm playing with my cat. Anyway, it's a great setup sweeper. It gets Calm Mind, can bulk up. It gets SD, Nasty Claw. It might get some kind of speed boosting thing. It gets Encore, which is cool. It gets Endeavor, which can make it a great focus dash lead. It gets Slack Off. It can run a defensive set to handle stuff like Weaviles and Scizors and stuff like that. It's a good Mon. It's a really good Mon. It's so versatile, and it can come in so many different ways that your opponent can very rarely understand. It gets Taunt, so it can be a taunt break, or a stall breaker with Taunt and Slack Off. Although I don't think it's bulky enough to do that. It's just so good. It gets phenomenal coverage, stuff like Thunder Punch for water types. It gets U-turn, it gets Earthquake, it gets Focus Blast, it gets Priority and Mach Punch and Vacuum Wave, so it can run special sets. It's a very good Mon. And I also ran this one other time. Can't remember. I just remember running Nasty Plot 8 versus E-Rob and the Portland Borgons when I first met him, and it destroyed him, so very good Mon, in my opinion. Just a very, very, very versatile, fast, offensive, really hard to plan for a Mon. So, moving on, this other Mon that I really wanted to pick up that I thought was tiered low, well, very low, was a tier 4 Mega. 80 extra points for a Mega Sharpedo. Strong Jaw. Wait, I don't want to call you Strong Jaw. No, I want to call you Riptide. No, Ripjaw. Is it Ripjaw? Whatever the Mon from, whatever the alien from Ben 10 is. Ripjaws. I think it's Ripjaws. Anyway, Sharpedo. Incredible, amazing Mon, in my opinion. This thing is incredibly, incredibly strong. 140 base attack with Strong Jaw boosted Crunch, Ice Fang, and Psychic Fangs, which is really good. Psychic Fangs is really good for a matchup that we're going to have that I'm really not excited to play. But it's here. It's here. So, Shark. Super, super strong. You can see already that my team is looking very offensive, which we work around. It gets better. But yes, Shark is my 4th pick. It's incredibly strong. Waterfall is good. Dark Stab, which is Crunch. Ice Fang, Psychic Fangs, Aqua Jet. Didn't even run Agility, as you can see right here. It does get Agility, so we don't get a Protect and get the Speed Boost before we have to Mega immediately. But it's still really, really strong. And if you Agility up, it just becomes even strong, more of a threat, because those Mons that typically could beat it by outspeeding it, it can no longer do that. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Anyway, Sharpedo is just it's really good for more than one reason, and that's because when it Mega Evolves, it gets a bulk upgrade, so it can take that hit, that very rare little tiny hit. It's not like Sharpedo, which everything it kills it immediately. Mega Shark can take a hit. It can take a Mach Punch should it need to. It can take that one neutral hit. Anything super effective is going to drop it on its neck, but it can take a hit, which is really nice for picking off some certain like bulky Mons, which is always good. Anyway, I don't want to ramble too long on anything because I'm now at 15 minutes, and I'm on the 4th Mon out of 11. So, let's keep going. Our 5th Mon. Okay. So this is a Mon I've been wanting to use for a while. I'm just going to get right into it. It's Goodra. I love Goodra. I want to use this Mon. I've been wanting to use this Mon for so long. I think I called you Yogurt. Yogurt? It's so bulky, and it's such a great assault vest user, and it's so strong. Like, it gets such good coverage. It's a very bulky offensive Mon, which I really like. I really love bulky offensive. Because while, yes, it is known as one of the fattest special walls that you could ever have with assault vest, it also is not easy to switch into because of the coverage. Like, at 110 base special attack, it's as strong as Salamence from the special side. And from the physical side, it's like 100, I think. Banded Outrage is not something to play around with. And it gets really weird but good coverage moves. It gets Thunderbolt, it gets Muddy Water, it gets Earthquake, it gets Power Whip, it gets Aqua Tail, Fire moves, it gets just like such weird, good coverage moves. You can even run an offensive set with like Bandit or Specs or Life Orb, which is always nice. Could be a okay choice Scarfer. All in all, it is a very, very good Mon, and I very much want to use this. It helps with electric types, which are kind of becoming a problem at this point. You'll see that it becomes a lot better as the team goes on, but at this point it was kind of an issue. It also helps me with grass types, because it gives me Sap Sipper, which is really good. And there's one thing that this does that I really, really like, other than Gooey, because Gooey is speed control, and I love speed control, and I need speed control on this team, because the team ends up not being too fast. There's one thing that this does that I'll get into later, but it's really, really good. It's really, really good. So anyway, moving on, next Mon we picked up, we were looking for Steel types, we were looking for hazards, and we did it. And I'm not calling it Walnut this time. We picked up the one and only Thugs. Thugs is here. Thugs is ready. Thugs is going to die and not get 5 kills to Toxic Spikes. So, Thugs is on our team, Mr. Fortress, with all the hazards, Stealth Rock, Spikes, and Toxic Spikes, except for Sticky Webs, of course. It gets Volt Switch. You can see at this point that we're really looking good for a Volt Turn team. I believe we get one more Volt Turner, which is always good. I love Volt Turn. And I think that's ended up how I won most of the UAPB, which is Volt Turning a lot into stuff like Medicham and Lego and crazy, stupid, strong wall breakers and just destroying everyone's life. So, Volt Turn, really nice. Fortress, really nice. Does get some niche things, which may end up coming into play one time. Maybe if we have another meme, we'll want to totemize Fortress. But it does get stuff like Gyro Ball, which is good for fast mons. It does get stuff like Earthquake for coverage. Volt, which is always really nice. It's a spinner, which means we're not going to be too weak to hazards. I feel really okay with hazards this time. Last season, I just felt really scared. I had a Moltres, and my hazard removers were both weak to water and ice. So, I wasn't too confident last time, but now I feel confident. I have a Zapdos, I have a Fortress, and I have one more Rapid Spinner on the team, which is really cool. Fortress, great sturdy mon, can help stop sweep should you really need it with Explosion. And sturdy. Too much, guys. Way too tired. Can do some weird things should you really need it to. Knowing Skylar, since he's in my front office, he will suggest some crazy things with this. But hopefully we don't get too nuts with it. Hopefully we just use it how it's supposed to be used. We'll get some hazards up, wall some things, and then maybe here and there we'll run a heat set or two with Skylar. But that's Fortress, that's our second spinner. Team is looking really nice. I really, really like the team at this point. So next thing comes down, and some of the mons that we had decided we were going to run, I believe the original plan at this point was Uxie plus Piloswine. Uxie went, and then I realized at this point, based on what I thought we were going to get, we were going to end up without a rock resist. Only one weakness, but no rock resist. What resist rock? Fighting? My fighting type is a fire type. Steel, my steel type is a bug type, and ground, my ground type would have been an ice type. I would have had no rock resist. Any rock type would have just come in and killed everything on my team. Oh, I'm not looking forward to facing the Lego. Oh, I just realized that Lego is gonna destroy me. Oh, that's sad. Anyway, so we needed a rock resist, and we needed a fairy resist. Because my fairy type, my fairy resist was Fortress. Fairy type can run HP Fire and destroy me. So we needed that fairy resist. And anyway, let's just talk about what we got. First mon we had on this wheel pick was ground type. I've been wanting to use recently, Rhyperior. We're using OG, Mr. Rhydon in one league. Might as well use Tectonic in another. Rhyperior, just such a great mon with solid rock, being able to take those special hits a little bit better. Yeah, again, because I mean, always gotta yawn. Very strong, just uninvested. Look at that attack, 316. That is ridiculously powerful. This mon is a threat. The second mon we have at 140 base attack. Wow. Incredibly strong. Incredibly, ridiculously, overpoweredly strong. And just a great coverage moves behind it. Stab, Edgequake, starting there. That's just, of course, always good. You have stuff like Ice Punch and Fire Punch to help with that. You also have stuff like Mega Horn. You have the support options that, of course, everyone knows Rhyperior for: Toxic, Rock Blast, Stealth Rock. You have Rock Blast or Rock Polish. Words are hard. You have Rock Polish and Sword Stance for setting up, and you're just so fat. I mean, you're 4 times weak to water and grass. But I've learned from the UAPB Season 1 that 4 times weaknesses do not define a mon. I had 7 4 times weaknesses in the UAPB. We'll be just fine. We'll be fine, guys. So yeah, same thing with the NPA miners, where yes, we could just electric types could be annoying as they are just able to run like HP water or grass and hit my mon super effectively. However, I do have other electric resists, which kind of make them second guess what hidden power they're going to use, because they're one on ice, which won't do much to Rhyperior. So that's always cool. Such as Gudra. Specifically Gudra. So yeah, they're a good mon. Also gives me a really nice speed tier, with like the lower speed tier. Base 40, if you're afraid of this thing offensively, you're going to run some of your slower mons like base 70, base 65, base 75. You're going to want them to go over that 196. You're going to want them to be faster than Rhyperior. And this also gives me a mon to, like, if you think it's going to be a good defensive threat against your team, you're going to run enough speed for a no-speed Rhyperior. So it really forces speed tier, just annoying speed tiers to prep for, which is always cool. So anyway, rambling. Next mon, we picked another physically defensive mon, because physical bulk is everything. We picked up Wheezing as our fairy resist. Wheezing, what is shady name his? Puff, 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 puff. We have puff, 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 puff. The Wheezing. So Wheezing, I've never really used, but I'm really wanting to see how it works out. I know it's a great physical wall, which basically hard walls any. It's just really, it's really good. I don't know how I'm gonna like it. I don't know how it's gonna work. It does have that speed tier at base 65, 60, 65, 60. Okay, I did have it right. 60. Base 60 speed, of course. A bulky mon, you're gonna want to make it go faster than that sometimes. It also gives me access to T-Spikes, which is really nice. A second T-Spiker, other than just Fortress, which helps take some of the pressure off of Fortress of being just a pure hazard setter and stacker. I can run T-Spikes on this and force a lot of bulkier builds to kind of feel the pressure. So that's always cool. Destiny Bond is really good. It does get some decent coverage moves. Poison, Fire, and Electric is really cool. It gets Clear Smog to stop setups, and also gets Haze. It gets Pain Split, of course. We all know this. It gets Will-O-Wisp to even better physical wall. So it's just a really good mon in general. Not much to say about it. So, alright, so next one comes up, and we have almost decided on the final plan. So the 3 things we're missing. We're missing a Wish Passer, which I always like having. Specifically, we want a bulky normal type to be that. So we're looking at Audino, we're looking at Licky Licky, we're looking at some things. We need a grass type, and we want a bulky psychic type. So those are 3 things we're looking at. And one set that we were thinking of involved Gothitelle in Tier 1. And then one of the mons that we ended up grabbing, this one mon was on both things. And then grabbing something like Sceptile for that nice speed. But we ended up going with the original plan. Well, not the original plan, but this plan that we ended up going with. And that was Superior. Now, the reason why I was kind of like on edge about using Superior was because I always had the idea that the first time I would use Superior was going to be paired with Jirachi for Healing Wish shenanigans to recreate the UU Alpha thing that I did. But, I mean, Superior is good on its own. It's so good. I like Superior because I'm on a setup spam kind of thing right now. Like, you can see, as the Delta Battle League started, like, I started to become super heavy in setup spam. Just set up and go, set up and go, set up and go. And Superior is really good for setup, because you don't need to worry about other moves that you have to click. You can just click Leaf Storm, and you're setting up by itself. And it's amazing. It's just so damn good that you can just set up and go like that. Contrary is just so good. It gets a great speed tier, and it opposes webs, which is my favorite thing. If someone wants to set up webs against me, you go right the hell ahead. Give me the +1 speed. Give me the contrary speed boost. Go for it. I will love you forever. You know what else this does? This, I can't remember the word. Your opponent won't be running stuff like Parting Shot alone person, because it's gonna be afraid of this. They won't be running Memento. What if I switch in on your Memento into my Superior and I'm now +2 already? What are you gonna switch in? It's amazing. Superior is just so damn good. So damn good. And this is what I was talking about with Gudra. This is the one thing that Gudra does really well, and that is act. One of my favorite things to do is draft a really good mon. Really good mon. Find a really good counter to it and draft that too. Oh, and then there's one less mon out there for you to be able to use to counter it. So obviously we have Superior, very offensive threat, and then Gudra, probably the best counter there is to it, just because of Sap Sipper. There's also other Sap Sipper mons, of course, like Girafarig and... Why was that the first Sap Sipper mon that came to mind? Was fucking Girafarig. Damn it, Sock! Alright, I know Miltank gets Sap Sipper, and I know you Azumarill. Azumarill is actually the best counter to Superior, in my opinion. You have a Zip Striker and, like, Bouffalant and stuff. But Gudra is basically one of the best counters to Superior. But now we also have both, so that's really good. Good speed tier at 113 forces most things to run Modest or Timid or Jolly. Of course, 130s are going to get around my team. This is going to end up being the fastest mon, so... Yeah, the team is kind of slow, but it's fine. Anyway, Superior, great mon. Next mon we picked up. Talked about a normal type. Talked about a Rapid Spinner. Komala. Get in here. Komala. Komala. I don't know what I'm gonna... I want to know... Sleepy Joey. Sleepy Joey. Sleepy Joey. Tired. We're gonna go with... I'm tired. So, I'm tired. The Komala. Surprisingly a strong hitter. Like, 115 at that attack is not something to... looks two ways at, especially with Swords Dance. Normal Stab is really good. Of course, it gets Rapid Spin. It's a great Assault Vest user. Great pivot with U-turn. Gets Wish, which is always nice. I think it's a really interesting Wish user. It does get U-turn with that too, so it can just like U-turn out and pass that Wish to something else, which is always cool. So yeah, it gets a lot of good coverage. Act here as a status absorber, and of course the Rapid Spinner, everything that normally does. I don't see myself bringing it a lot, but it's here. And the last mon, we wanted a bulky Psychic type. We wanted a Psychic type in general. And we threw a lot of ones around. And there's one mon that I looked at that I was like, you know, this actually fits what I'm looking for. I'd like a little bit more special bulk in the end. I want something that can run Heat. I want a bulky Psychic type. Here's the mon that... And most of all, this this Mon is gonna do one thing, and this is gonna make my opponent forcefully look up what this Mon does. I read out Grumpig. I don't remember when I think I called you Steve. Because Scholar was asking, what are you gonna name it? Baconator or Hamlet or something, some dumb shit, and then I was like, Steve? And I was like, Steve. It's gonna be Steve. So I'm not gonna talk a single thing about Grumpig. That's my last Mon, and it's a Bulk Psychic type. And I hope you guys enjoyed my recap. I'm not saying a thing. You have to look up what Grumpig does. I will see you hopefully back here in like a week and a half or so for week 1 of the UAPB. I believe we're taking like a 1 week to let everything settle, get the post-draft power rankings out. Anyway, I will see you when week 1 comes out with this fire-ass team. I really hope it does well. And gotta go. Peace.